Welcome to the CFG Game Cast, episode number 156, a weekly podcast created by gamers and streamers alike to discuss the latest gaming topics from the previous week. We stream a new episode on Fridays and release it on podcast services like Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, Podbean, and so much more. So show us some love, give us a follow, a like, a comment, what have you on any podcast services out there, or go to our main website, confreaksandgeeks.com, to not miss an episode. I am Mr. CFG Games himself, Davis Green, and with me today are my two awesome co-hosts. I got Lex in the second seat. What is going on, my cyborg?
Hello. I started Bendy this week. It looks so good. And before the podcast, David was like, "No, I saw you playing a game, and it was like a female character." I'm like, "That was Bendy." It looks so good. I'm enjoying it. I can't remember if it was a feature on the last one, but us disabled gamers, sometimes we need little context clues because I don't see so well, and like I have to turn the brightness up, which then bleeds out some of the other background to see stuff on the floor that I'm supposed to pick up. But there's a little Bendy figurine, and it's small, but it's in black. Thank you, Bendy. Appreciate that. Don't give me a white symbol. Give me a black symbol. I can't see the white. And it just kind of floats off in the distance. And you're like, oh, I'm supposed to go that away. And I like that because I was fading fast when I started Bendy, and I shouldn't have. And I got to a point where I was like, I think I can save right here. This is good. I'll remember what I'm supposed to do. But I really enjoyed it. Played a bunch of Labyrinthine this week, of course. There was a new monster in Labyrinthine. Don't remember them saying there was an update for that. So maybe it was in the last update and I just haven't seen it. It looks like Gumby with a creepy smiley face and it's yellow.
Oh, that does not sound like Gumby at all, what you just described.
Well, he's Gumby shaped. Chrissy says he looks more like the wacky inflatable tube man. I disagree. I think he's shaped more like Gumby and he walks really slow, which is real creepy. But he's got like a bloody smiley face and you're like, oh, well, I'll avoid that guy. But I did have to get myrtleated by him at least once, just to see. And I just had to see. I totally didn't get caught. It was on purpose.
Right.
What else I played this week? I played something else that was new. I've been playing Darkwood, which is interesting. It's a top-down game. I'm liking that a lot too. Yeah. And then of course Dreamlight Valley is my morning ritual with my coffee. You gotta mind my island.
Good for you. Thanks. But yeah, that's awesome. And guys, thanks for stopping by as always. But unfortunately, Smitty had a Smitty thing to do up in Canada, so he is not here this week. But we have an awesome co-host, guest co-host here.
Wait,
Wait,
you know who didn't play Dreamlight Valley today?
We also know we know it's the new dude, BJ, who is AKA Bunny 3000, who is a freelance journalist for a lot of different places online on the website and stuff, and also does a lot of stuff for Con Freaks and Geeks. I'd like to welcome him to the show. He is our number 3 today. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
That's awesome. And just wondering, what do you normally like to play?
Ooh, as much as I can get my hands on and have the time for it, basically. I don't know. I play a lot of I don't want to say dumb games, but like fringe games.
Yes.
I've been dipping into this game called Star Sector for the past year plus that I love. Mountain Blade, Bannerlord, Chivalry 2, Call of Duty,
2 was tight.
NBA 2K. I mean, I'm all over the place.
You're all over the place. That's good though.
Yeah,
I mean, it's always eclectic, I know that's really cool. That's awesome. But guys, but BJ, hey, thank you for stopping by. Really appreciate it. We'll love to have a good conversation with you as well as everyone else here. And as for me, I have almost finished unpacking all my boxes. I just need to cable, put some blinds up inside here, and also put another piece of furniture so I can put all my stuff in my CGC books on the wall and stuff. So once that's there, then I'm done with the office, and now I just need to pray for a new TV because these Son of these bastards
Ah!
broke my television.
We need an update at the end of what's going on with that.
Oh my god, yeah. Well, it's not good, so I kind of don't want to really get into it. But for the most part, it's just gonna be like it just seems like well. The long story short, it looks like I'm going to be taking them to a small claims court for it, because that's to that extent, because they're like not budging on one they wanted to give me. So it's like, okay. It's like, let's dance. Let's see where this is gonna go. Exactly. But guys, I know you don't want to be talking about my possible trial, my trial with the moving company here. So let's go through the normal rigmarole that we like to do each and every week. So each of us chooses a topic of discussion through the world of video games from the previous week. The topic would or could be a game or something that happened in the gaming industry this week. And we don't want to talk about it amongst ourselves. We want you, the listeners and viewers on twitch.tv/CFG Games, to be a part of the conversation. So if there is something that you wanted to add or chime in about whatever we talk about, by all means, type it inside the chat. We would love to talk about it amongst everybody here. And we'll just make it a more interesting, fun, interactive show. So let's get this started. BJ, since you are here, you are our guest. We'll start this up with you. So what are you bringing to the table, sir?
So, short notice, my whole thing was, we all know Black Panther Wakanda Forever just dropped. When was that? Last weekend, I think. So, when it comes to gaming, if you think about it, especially for as big as the Black Panther movie was when it came out, Marvel just has not made an effort to really have a solo experience, whether it's in Wakanda or with Black Panther. We've seen him, I don't know, his debut was like what, in Ultimate Alliance, way back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that had everybody in Marvel, right? And I mean, I think the second Ultimate Alliance even had DLC where you went to Wakanda. But then, like, after that, only time you saw him was like in what, Lego Marvel Heroes, or what was the other one? Marvel versus Capcom Infinite or whatever. And then of course this last Marvel Avengers game, they kind of threw another DLC in there, and you can play as Black Panther there. And I think the only other time that we've come close or will come close in the near future is whatever that new game is that they recently announced that's supposed to have Captain America and the Black Panther, as well as a few other characters or whatever. That they haven't even got a name for the game yet. It was just, announced sometime this summer, I think. So, I really think, given how big these movies have been, especially with the success of Insomniac Games doing Spider-Man, and, even on the DC side of things with like Batman and, Gotham Knights and all that other kind of stuff. It's just interesting. They've never had I don't want to say a solo Black Panther, but starring Black Panther, something, starring Wakanda, even if it's a whole bunch of characters from Wakanda. I really think they've been missing out on that.
Oh, I mean, yeah. Well, I think that specifically for Black Panther, especially as big as the character as Black Panther has been in the past, how long has Black Panther 1 been out? Like 2018, maybe 5 years, 4 or 5 years,
4 or 5 years, something like that.
Yeah, I think that it was going to, like, they could have groomed him to become something that was going to be like, the second in command, because I mean of how his presence was, especially in the first movie, and stuff, and it would have been kind of cool and would have been very interesting to see if they would have decided to make him to be like the main focal point or the main star of of his own story. And but unfortunately, because of the unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman and maybe some other things, it's just another reason why they're going to it's going to be slowed down even further. So but after seeing like the Avengers, if you ever played the Avengers DLC of Black Panther, it's like it was pretty good. I mean, for the most part,
it was.
So
it really was.
Yeah, but to see him as a star, to be the leader of his own game, I can easily see that. So I guess it's just a matter of, will the developers take that chance, instead of being like, oh, it has to be Iron Man or Captain America, to frontline the stuff. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people would say. I mean, I would definitely say, yeah, he's definitely proven himself to it. Yeah. So let's just see where that goes at that point.
I'm a huge Iron Man fan. I've loved the Iron Man comics since I was a kid. An alcoholic who can fly. Great, let's do it. That's great content for a child. But I don't know. There's some like mystery behind Iron Man that I really enjoyed, and some other things that I can relate to that we won't get into here. But I w- Black Panther is fantastic. He's one of my favorite characters out of the Marvel universe. I think he's great as a standalone, not just as an Avenger. I
Hmm.
think with what they did with Wakanda itself too, as being this entity that has vibranium and no one else can find it, is absolutely fantastic. They have a resource that other people want, mostly a bunch of grumpy old white people who are then sending in, you know, tactical teams to try to like retrieve this. And it's like, wait a minute, like we're part of the Accords. What are you doing here? Um, and I think for me, just for a standalone Black Panther game, I would absolutely love to be in Series Lab, like doing things and creating new suits and upgrading and working on new technology. For me, I'm a huge science nerd, so that speaks to me volumes. I would rather have that than the new VR Iron Man game, if I'm being quite honest with you. And again, I love Iron Man, but I'm kind of over it. I want something new. I want something fresh, and I want something different. And you know, he speaks volumes for a lot of, a marginalized community, and I think they're missing out on a whole market, not just the movie market. Yes, they have the two movies and they're fantastic, and I mean, people were like cheering and applauding at the end of it, and I was like in tears. The little girl next to me was also watching me cry during the movie. I was like, can you please stop looking at
Wait,
me?
have you watched Wakanda Forever too?
I saw it with Smitty in
Am I the only person that
in
have not
40x.
watched this movie? Jesus.
If you
I
need to
think
see
so.
it
I
in
think so.
40x, I was in my chair and I was about to lose my goddamn popcorn and I'm holding on to it. Adam is laughing, Smitty's laughing at me, and me and Lincoln are just like, oh shit, like trying to hold on to our candy and popcorn. It was so good. And thankfully I wasn't the only short one in that theater, because she was like, I got kicked in the head a lot from my chair. I was like, yeah, gut
Kicked in the
punches. I
head.
know. Because when you so 40x is kind of like an interactive, well, not kind of, it's an interactive experience. So like if somebody in the film gets punched in the stomach, your chair kind of like thuds you in the back, usually in that vicinity. But because I'm short and I slide in my chair, I get cocked in the back of the head, which is delightful.
Oh my
But
god.
I think they're missing out on not just a huge market. And I mean, obviously companies were like, money, 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 like you're stupid to not make this game, number one. Number two, again, there's a whole marginalized community that this movie speaks volumes to, and it being in a video game is going to speak a lot of volumes to a lot of people. And I think that also opens up our new generation who may not necessarily be super into games. They play Call of Duty with their buddies, they play Fortnite every once in a while, and then this game comes out. I think that might be the entrance for a lot of people, and I think they're silly not to make it.
Well,
They're
to
silly
be a
not to make it.
well, to be a devil's advocate, because like I mean, I don't know what you would. I mean, like, because when I'm thinking of these kind of games, I'm thinking of a story-driven game. Like a story-driven action adventure game. They don't really like. I mean, when you really sit down and think about it, they've made what? Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, the Avengers, and that's really
And they're
it.
all white.
They're all white. Yeah.
Boring.
Well, I'm just saying. My point is, I'm just saying is that for right now, that I don't, and like, but out of those three games, look at the developers that did it. Square Enix was one. They probably the studio that was in charge of Avengers and in Guardians of the Galaxy isn't a part of Square Enix anymore. Then you also got Not Activision. I forgot the name of them. The people who did Ratchet and Clank, the developers for that did Spider-Man. So basically, that's a Sony.
Insomniac.
Yeah, Insomniac. Who basically did. It's basically a Sony studio itself. So that's going to be their own exclusive. And I don't think that they would give the rights to Black Panther. Disney would give the rights to Black Panther to something that's going to be solely righted to Sony because of the relationship that they automatically have to have with Spider-Man. So like, I'm just saying that I don't think that it's something that they're afraid of. It may not be something of a matter of that they're afraid of taking a risk of Black Panther, but rather I don't know if there's going to be a studio like maybe let's say Rocksteady who did the Batman Arkham games. That would be amazing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like that would probably just say, hey, let's take our crack in this and let's make a Black Panther game. I'm pretty sure if they have an idea or if they have a thing of it, I think they're very subjectable to say yes to that because Black Panther's already proven themselves.
My whole thing is, especially with a lot of these other games that they've had where they've tacked on the DLC and tacked on quote unquote adventures in Wakanda. I've played most of those games, and honestly, I don't remember much that was really impactful or deep about going through Wakanda. You know what I mean? It always feels like the whole when it comes to gaming, when you got set pieces or areas where you're going into that are interesting, like Gotham City or uh, I don't know, New York City, which basically the same thing. But when you start getting into having a real set piece that's iconic or whatever, and you say Wakanda, everybody doesn't have a visualization of that outside of what we've seen in the live action movies. You know what I mean? There's so
Right.
much in terms of the free reign that the creators could do in order to say, look, we're going to make a sprawling map that's going to have part of the city or part of the lab or part of the vibranium mines or whatever. And we're going to dig into showing, kind of like Lex was saying, a lot of the science and all that other kind of stuff and
Well,
dig
there's
into
different
things a lot
clans.
more. Yeah,
You could
all of
show
the
each
different
clans.
clans.
That's
There's so much that they could do, and they have free reign for it because there's not a whole lot that's been depicted, outside of the comic book. You know what I mean? So there's a lot there that they could really play around with, and I really think, like it was just like you said, they could throw Rocksteady out there, and I'm sure they'd have a heyday. Just go bonkers with it,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I think that it's not out of the realm of possibilities that we may see something like that in the future. Because, like, to be honest with you, who would have thought that there was going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy game last year? Like, I sure as hell didn't.
Yeah.
I still need to play it. Oh,
Yeah,
I need to play it too, but I mean, it's like you
it's a
said,
good
it's
game.
brilliant. They had a
Yeah.
good idea. They knocked it out of the park. It's not MMO. It's
Yeah.
not a first-person shooter. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a multiplayer game. It's straightforward story
Straight
action.
story
It's
action.
good.
Exactly. Yeah. I was surprised that of all the people, Square Enix was the one that said we want to make this, and they did, and they got the rights to do it. I mean, I don't see, I could easily see Black Panther being one of those kind of games that is a very good realm of possibility. It would be a perfect character to kind of tell a story about, and especially and stuff, and have their own story. Because I mean, personally, like for instance, what's it called? I forgot the name of the dude with the white gorilla, dude. I forgot his name.
Jacoby.
Yeah, I forgot.
Jabari?
But that's not his name.
Yeah.
Jabari. Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
Jabari, you're right.
I think
Yeah.
that's his name, right?
Yeah.
Oh, God, what's his name? And he does a chant, and I was balling. I was balling every time he does it, like on the red carpet. I was like,
Yeah.
I just need to see, I'm just saying, I mean, in the comics, he's technically a bad guy, I mean, the whole thing, the whole different kinds of deals, to make it, no, he was a bad guy. There was no extent. There's no neutral. There's no chance he was a bad guy.
He was likable.
He was not likable in the comics.
I liked him. I read all of them. I still have them. They were fantastic. I got when it came out, I was like, I need to.
I forgot the one I want to see is what's her name? She's the Princess Warrior. I forgot her name. It's been a long time, but like that girl's like, she's a princess, but she's always been fighting and stuff. Like to see, I mean, like they have a lot of different kinds of characters that they easily do. And I would love to see, and I mean, and I think like Black Panther would be a great IP for someone to take the risk on. I don't know. I don't remember.
Who dates Black Panther?
No, it's not her. Not her.
Oh.
Shuri,
yeah.
Nakia.
Might be Jury. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, Shuri.
Shuri. Oh, not Shuri. It's not Shuri. Shuri's
not
the sister. Yeah. It was someone. I forgot her name. I was talking to the voice actor that did the voice a long time ago for it, but I cannot remember her name. The character's name. But yeah, but there was a girl that's like she's a princess of that has no country anymore.
Oh, that
and she has
no
to be
country. Oh,
yeah. So, but it was crazy. And I was like, oh yeah, like I mean. Yeah, it's crazy, but like I said, like if they do that, or if they come out and they say, hey, we're gonna make an Ant-Man game, then I might be more pissed if anything like that. But we'll see. We'll see. I think Black Panther definitely has to be like on the short list for like a game for itself, because it
should. They could tie into so many new characters and tech and powers and all this other kind of stuff. There's a lot. There's just a lot.
Very much so. So yeah. So okay, but yeah, that's cool. So but no, that's a good topic in itself there. So all right. So my topic, I wanted to talk about the Game Awards. Now, I am not a fan of the Game Awards per se, but like, because like the Game Awards is good. It's a good thing to have because you want to see what's coming soon and stuff like that, you know, and then you're not usually wanting to go see a game like an award show to see, hey, well, what's the upcoming games that's coming out, you know? Instead, it's like, this is actually a very interesting, it's very interesting to me and stuff. So I decided, you know what, let me see what the topics are, because as you know, if y'all want to be a part of the Game Awards, you could, they're allowing open voting for anyone to sign in to vote for all the games. So just go to thegameawards.com for it. But the thing that throws me off, I just can't take this award ceremony seriously, is what they categorize games in for some of these categories, and it drives me insane. So I was looking it up because on the 8th of November they announced the nominees for the Game Awards for this week, for this year. The Game Awards itself is going to come out on December 7th or December 8th, and they were taking a look at the list. So I was taking a look at the list just to see what was up, and I was like, okay, let's see if they've done if they're better or what they were before. So I thought it would be best to kind of share it with y'all, like what I experienced here. So here was some of the stuff that I was noticing. Here. Okay, so Game of the Year itself was A Plague's Tale, Elden Ring, obviously, God of War, Ragnarok, obviously, Horizon Forbidden West, Stray, and Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's fine. It's like it's okay. Let's see but some of these articles were perfectly fine. Like best game direction makes sense. Narrative, art direction. Ooh, Scorn's on here. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Score and music. Why. Well, I mean, it's Geiger-esque. It's H.R. Geiger essentially. So I mean, I can easily see art direction. just give it to them. They have to. All right. Audio design, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, Gran Turismo. That's kind of interesting, but okay. I don't know anything about art, so we'll go with that. We'll leave it at that. These are the best voice actors. Games for Impact. Oh, okay, so that's cool. Don't know any of those. Best ongoing. Which is basically ongoing games that have been around, but they still keep on openly like every year. So it's always usually the same 5 that are part of it. So Apex, Destiny, Final Fantasy, Fortnite, and now Genshin Impact, which is probably going to win that. Oh, Best indie, Cult of Lamb.
How they don't have No Man's Sky in that category, I don't know.
They did have No Man's Sky on it. I don't know why they didn't this year, though. That's a good question.
Right, that's what I'm saying. If they're gonna keep Fortnite and Genshin Impact and Apex Legends and not have No Man's Sky, I'm like, what's going on? At this point, you might as well put like, I don't know, Anthem in there at that point.
Anthem.
It's like just whoever.
They bring Anthem back. It's like from the dead. It's like, oh, okay, bring an Anthem in here. It's like,
Yeah,
okay.
just throw it in there.
Cult of Lamb is definitely going to win this for indie, I think, because this was a great game.
I was upset they didn't have that in there for like Game of the Year.
Cult of Lamb?
Yeah.
Oh man,
I hear it's fantastic. A lot
Cult-
of my horror buddies.
yeah.
It is
they
a
love
streamer's
it.
game. It
is a
is
streamer's
like perfect
game.
for
I need to play it.
communities and stuff like that. It's a ton of fun.
It's a toss up. Cult of Lamb and Stray are probably going to be the two up there.
Yeah.
Because Stray was also a pretty good game
I
too.
loved it. Oh, it was so good.
Everyone loves Stray. There's no
I
one.
tried to get my cat to sit on my desk because she watches me play games, and I was like, maybe if I meow back at her, like she'll be into it. Because couple streamers have posted their cats reacting to them meowing at their cat through the screen, and then meowing, like going back and forth and meowing, and it was adorable. My cat was like, "Get out of here with that nonsense. I don't know what you think this is. I watch TV. You put the TV on for me just by myself. No, I know
It's
what
like,
that is.
I'm not gonna fall for
I'm
it.
not falling for it. Yeah,
I'm not your puppet. I'm not your puppet to
basically.
be pleased. Okay, so best mobile game, which I kind of don't care, which is surprising. Well, you know, it's not surprising. As much crap that people have put on Diablo Immortal, they still got their money, which is amazing to me. But they still got their money. Their massive millions of dollars of money. Marvel Snap, which is actually, I've tried Marvel Snap, which is actually not bad of a game. It's actually pretty fun.
I'm
Yeah,
surprised the
I played it.
Disney mobile game's not on there. It was fantastic. I just couldn't keep doing it with my hands. It was giving me cramps at night.
Marvel Snap is a Disney mobile game.
No, it's another one. I don't know how to explain it. I think it's called Mirrorverse.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I know
Oh, it
Mirrorverse.
It just came
good.
out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the one with like
It's fantastic.
Is that the one with the hot husbandos that have like the different kinds of like they're guys, but they have different, but they're like Ursula and the Snow Queen, but they're a king, but it's the Snow King and stuff.
No. I
Oh,
don't
it's
think
not
so.
okay because like my friend is like loves that stuff. Like they had like a
think so.
human version of
Where they do
Scar.
gender benders?
Yeah, they do
Oh,
gender benders of
no.
it, and I was just like,
I
these
love
people.
gender bender, but no.
Yeah.
No, Mirrorverse it's basically like let's say you have Belle as one of your fighters. And then you go
Fighters?
through like
Mhm.
so you pull characters through the Mirrorverse, and then you upgrade them as you go along. To different characters do different things. Like Jack is from Pirates of the Caribbean is like a healer. Belle's a really good fighter. So is Rapunzel. She's got a frying pan. And you go through 3 sequences, and then at the end you have a big bad, and sometimes it's one of the characters that's on the field, or it's another one, but they're like kind of like a purple-esque version of the character. So if it's Belle, she's purple and kind of, you can tell it's her because of the outline and the features, but there it's still kind of, it's like a weird purple mirror version of her, and then she fights you, and then you have to kill her without losing out all 3 of your characters that are up there.
That's
So
weird.
it's interesting, but it's a good game, but you really do have to tap on your screen. I was scratching up my screen with my nails. I had to stop.
It's too much
I was like,
activeness.
oh, no. Adam and I
Best-
at night would play, and I'm like, "Who did you get? Oh, I want him!" And it was a whole thing. It was pretty cool. I
Throw his
thought it was
phone out the
fantastic.
window.
Yeah, I thought he's the one that got me to get it.
Oh man, I can easily see that.
He's a phone game person.
Dust, if you're on here, you're a bad influence. Just saying, you know. But
it kind of reminds me of, what is the other one that Marvel did, like Future Revolution or something. They had something similar to that because you recruit all the players
Yes.
and it's action and you go
Uh-huh.
through and yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it reminds me
You've
of.
got tanks, you've got your fighters, and then you've
Yep.
got your healers, but they all still fight. And
Yep.
like you can put it on auto, but I'll tell you the auto sucks, and then you always lose your characters. I can do this myself. Thank you very much. And then my hand is cramping. I'm like, oh no. So yeah,
I
I'm
can't
just
feel my
saying.
hands. It's like, help me, please. Best community support. This is interesting. Apex Legends, Destiny 2. Hey, there you go. No Mansky. So there you go. Where is it? I know there was something I saw. Oh, innovation of accessibility. This is a good one. So
I
don't
do
know.
appreciate that BJ talked crap about Anthem and Smitty's not even here. So
I know,
thank
right?
you for that.
We can't really.
Oh,
We can't make it. We can't make it ourselves.
he threw
I
all the
like
ducats at
Anthem,
Anthem.
sort
Oh,
of.
you guys
Everyone's
can
like
have
that.
a party together.
Smitty,
Yeah, I sorta like it.
Smitty went all in on Anthem though. I think he bought the game like
Oh, he was like, "I'll buy
four
it for you."
times.
I was like,
Yeah.
"No,
Oh, you
I'm
did?
good, buddy." Oh yeah.
I
He was like, "Let me
look
buy it for you." I was like,
Wait. What did you
the
do for
content.
when Anthem came out? What did you do?
Oh, I pre-bought. I I bought it before it released. I was
Uh-huh.
all in. I was there day one. I was
Mhm.
playing through. I did like the, whatever they tried to do when they revamped everything and said they were dropping a DLC. I was in there day one on the
Mhm.
DLC and everything, and it was sad.
"You poor
It was
soul."
Oh
sad.
no.
I'm
Well,
so sorry.
Yeah,
Dang,
Smitty
he was in there.
Smitty bought EA Origins so he could get Anthem to play early. Then he bought a physical copy. Then he bought 2 more additional physical copies of that game to give to other people to give away. So that I was like, wow, dude, that is insane.
yeah. That's
He really tried. And then I never will make him forget, but still, it was funny.
Never
Accessibility.
forget, never
Yeah.
surrender.
Innovation accessibility, which is really, I'm kind of wondering about this one. So Last of Us Part 1, I guess it's the remake that they did for this. That they're basically going to have the same accessibility power
As
that what the second as
Yep.
2 did. And
Play
then
it blind.
yeah, and then Ragnarok was the same way. I'm not surprised with Ragnarok because Ragnarok was freaking crazy, very good with it. Best VR AR, which I kind of don't care. I don't know Among Us was on VR. That's cool. Best
Yes,
action.
I've been getting asked to play it. Sorry.
Best action game. Bayonetta 3. Okay, so would you classify Call of War? BJ, would you classify Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 an action game? Like, per se?
sure.
You
Why
do?
not?
You would? Okay, cool.
I guess I wouldn't call it narrative.
Okay, just wanting to know because this is when it gets kind of wonky.
Yeah, because I guess they don't have it doesn't look like they have like a quote unquote FPS category. So I guess that's kind of where you have to stick it.
Yeah, I mean, fair. I mean, that's cool. I don't think they would have if they don't have one. Then I can understand. Best action adventure game. Plague God of War, Horizon, Stray, and Tunic, which is okay. So I really was disappointed at Horizon Forbidden West. So I hope they don't win that. Yeah. Best role-playing game, of course, Elden Ring, Live Alive, Pokemon Legends, Triangle Strategy, and Xenoblade Saga 3, which is cool. Most of them are cool. I never really played Arceus before, so here's where I got confused. Best fighting game, DNF Duel, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, King of Fighters, Multiverses, and Sifu. Sifu is an action adventure game. It's not even and from its description here for best game designed primarily around head to head, it's a 1-player game. You can't play with anybody else on this. So I don't even understand why this is even on this list. So I was like, okay, can't take that one seriously. And really,
they probably tried to put like WWE in there, and then they were like, "Nah, this game sucks. Let's put Seafood."
I mean, it's just like they could have. It's like, you know what? It's like, you know what they could have replaced Seafood with? Madden 2022. That's at least head to head. You know, I mean, Jesus. You might as well.
Oh man.
Oh my God. Yeah. So that one clearly is not. Jesus. Yeah,
It's a weird
that one
choice.
was a
I mean,
stretch.
some of the categories are kind of a weird choice.
Well,
Yeah, some
and
of them.
even Dust says in chat, he says that's like saying Path of Exile is a fighting game because you have a punch ability.
Right.
You
He's
know?
absolutely right.
I mean, it's just stupid. It's just like, why would they put that there? I mean, it's just dumb. Yeah. So, Best Family, Kirby, Forgotten Land, Lego Skywalker. I don't know about these. Family games. I'm like thinking of Mario Party. Like like Nintendo Switch Sports. I can understand. Maybe I mean Splatoon might be a stretch, but
Splatoon
I
will
would.
probably get it.
Yeah. I mean, but most of these are kind of interesting.
Yeah, I
Kirby, I
think they
can say.
just threw stuff in there because I'm pretty certain Splatoon's gonna get that.
I'm just surprised that they didn't do like you were saying. I'm surprised they don't have an FPS or first person shooter
Right.
spot for it. It's kind of you would think that they would put that there because there's a lot of first person shooters that came out.
Right. I don't know.
Yes. So like I said, I'm overall I'm just not taking them. I never really took them seriously with this, but the big thing is I guess from I'm gathering is like is the Game Awards itself, is that something that you normally like to watch? Is it something that's like you that you like that you're hyped for, or is it something that's like it's on TV? you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't really pay much attention to it. I like the idea of doing something like that because they want to try to I think their goal and reasoning for making the Game Awards is because they want to put gaming as an art form
mm,
out there in the mainstream and hopefully get the quote unquote game awards to a point where they can get it on like cable TV or something
mm,
like that, just like the all the other award shows are, you know what I mean? But because I mean, you see what they do. They try to get like Keanu Reeves and all these other big actors and celebrities and musicians and stuff to go because they're trying to get that visibility.
mm-hmm.
They just want that what is it, that viability from the mainstream or whatever, and I'm like, y'all don't need that. there's
Yeah.
you know there's so many publications that do awards and stuff like that for gaming that everybody loves, that's like, it's not necessary.
Totally agree with that. I mean, it's if you ever get a chance, you need to see the original, the first year of the Game Awards, where they had what's his name from Community, Joe McHale as the host of it. And
Yep.
this dude was not taking it seriously at all. Like he
Nope.
was totally ripping it. It was
Yeah.
crazy. It was crazy, but nah, like
Yeah.
I don't like the Game Awards personally. I'm just like I'm only there to just see what the previews are going to show. For the most part of what's coming in the future. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that games definitely need to get their spotlight for it. I think if they get an award for or an accolade of how good their game is, congrats to them. But like for me to sit down and watch it for 2 or 3 hours, nah, I got stuff to do. I got some other stuff to do.
I think it's a good starting point.
Mhm.
Like I was saying before, I think I know what they're trying to do,
Mhm.
but it's going to take time for them to get anywhere near the prestige of any of these other awards like Grammys and Academy Awards. Ow, that was my thing. You know, you know, all that other kind of stuff. It's going to take a while, and I'm not even certain how they get there. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, it's like it's so crazy. What about you, Lex? Is there something
I
that
So you guys know I play a lot of horror games, but I also play a lot of indie horror, and I'm always sad when I don't see them on. Like Faith Chapter 3 had a wonderful soundtrack. It was
Mhm.
fabulous. The art direction was amazing. The story fantastic. Like why isn't it in any of them? You know what I mean? Like even their indie game like Cult of Lamb is fantastic, but
Mhm.
Faith Chapter 3, like just the Faith saga in general is up there. I remember Lost in Random. I don't remember them being on, and they were fantastic couple years ago. I want to play Lost in Random again. They recently had a new update, and they're coming out with a second one. But I feel like they're going with like these big AAA games, and a lot of them I'm like, that was a snore fest. Like, and that's what you have up there. Like The Last of Us, I get it. Absolutely, 100%. But there are so many other games that are just absolutely fantastic. The Quarry's not up there. It had a fabulous soundtrack. I mean, putting aside that, yes, it's a horror game, but the storyline's great. It had a great narrative. The character development was fantastic. The soundtrack, the score is beautiful.
Mhm.
And I just feel like they're snubbing a lot of other games. Like they're just putting the most popular up there so that they get more viewership. But it's like, do these people really care? Because I don't think they do. I mean, I have friends who are huge into Apex Legends. They never talk about the Game Awards,
Mhm.
right? So I feel like just kind of like how the Academy Awards doesn't really put horror movies into a genre. I feel and this isn't just for horror games. There are other indie games that I play that I think are fantastic that are not in the horror subgenre, but they always have fabulous scores. And I always think to it because my dad was a musician, he owned a recording studio. I'm like, man, my dad could have written a score for one of these, and it would have been just as good. And he missed out on an opportunity. And I guess I'm very attuned to the music side of games because a game is great, but if you don't have the music swells and the background for when something sad happens, if someone dies and it was a main character and it's happy go lucky music, it doesn't give you that same effect, right? And I think just some of these categories, I'm like, are you guys really paying attention to what's going on, or are
Mhm.
you guys just the bros of gaming and this is what's on your radar and so that's what goes up is what it feels like. Does that make sense?
No, I mean it
Because I
does.
don't really care what they have to say, because in all honesty, a lot of the times they pick games and I'm like, yeah, it was an okay score, but that's what you picked, really,
Yeah,
as the
yeah,
winner out of all of those? I don't
yeah. No, but that's how. But you know what? To be fair though, that's how a lot of people. All this show is 100% subjective. Like towards what it's going to be. So like you may say like, oh, this person definitely deserves it. Like you remember, like for instance, I think Game of the Year last year went to an indie game, and then out of all of the AAA titles and stuff went to an indie game, and then bet you some people were out there saying, I can't believe it went to that as opposed to so and so. But it like overall the way how all that it fits and works in it, I think it's almost like there's just it's virtually impossible to say this is the number one. Like for instance, like the only like if I had to care about any category in the Game Awards this year, it's probably Game of the Year, because like Game of the Year has a lot of big have a lot of big hitters. Like I thought I think months before this before it was coming up, I thought that the shoe in if God of War Ragnarok wasn't going to tank, or if it tanked for some godforsaken reason, I think it was going to go to Elden Ring, because I think that like Elden Ring was just a very big enough
Yeah,
game to
well,
do
and
it.
I don't even play Elden Ring, but I know
Mm-hmm.
enough about it. I've heard the music. I've watched people play it that I know it's a fabulous game,
Right,
right? But
right.
I think I don't know, and here's my question. Do they do it like they do at the Academy Awards where they have a group of
Yeah,
people who are
no,
non-biased? See?
they don't,
Ah,
because like I said, like it's up to like the way they vote is the public is voting for their deal, so it's a bigger pool of people. Like the way the Oscars work is that you have to be like a SAG-AFTRA like a SAG member to vote to vote to be like to get your opinion on this is the best movie, this is the best actor, and so on and so forth. Except that this
okay.
pool is huge. Yeah, it's even
I have a
bigger.
message for our audience. People out there with your boring games, look into new things. God, that's all. Okay. I just okay.
I mean,
It
it's
makes
fine.
sense.
I mean, like I said, like I mean, but I think I kind of want a legit game award for video games. I just don't like this one. That's just what I'm saying.
No, I agree. And I think they should have, people who are really looking into games from an objective point of view, like gaming journalists or people who, are streamers, but they play more fringe games. Like you need a good grouping of people who all kind of like different things that are part of this gaming. Maybe we'll just call it the gamers community, okay? and
Mm,
and they're the ones that bring up the options for voting, and then the audience can vote, right? Because then that's fair, I think.
More
Just a
fair.
thought. I think and it brings more games to light that maybe wouldn't have. Like Faith, they're not up there at all. I'm dumbfounded. Faith was fantastic. It is an 8-bit horror. If you've never played it, I talk about it all the time because it's so dang good, man.
Yeah, but gaming journalists is also can be very biased though. I mean, like
That's
it's not
true.
like it's
I mean,
like it's safe to it.
out ones who are not as.
I think it's easier said than done when it comes to something like that, though. It really is. It really is.
They need a marketing team to look into it and to vet these people, and I think that would be a great option. But this isn't a real. I don't think it's a real award show.
No, I'm just saying this. Everyone's gonna have a natural biasm. Everyone's gonna have a natural biasm. All right, but what you need to do is that you need to have a closed. It needs to be closed off. The poll needs to be a lot less than saying everyone can get their mind and get their mind into it. For it. I mean, yeah, there's gonna be people gonna say I'm absolutely an RPG nerd, so this is gonna be my thing. This is the best RPG out of the list of the RPGs that were out there. It's just gonna happen. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it towards it.
I think like with any award show, as you know, as they've always said, you've always got to have transparency into how the nominees are selected as well as how as the winners are selected. But what they really need to do is they've got to figure out a way. They got to first figure out, okay, the game awards, what is this going to be? If we give, a game or a studio an award, what's the goal? Are we trying to appeal to the gaming community who already knows about all these? Or are we trying to show just the general press who know nothing about gaming what the best game of the year is? It's like, what is the real goal? And then, kind of like Lex was saying, they need to have something set up where, just like in what is it, the Grammys and the Academy Awards, where you have a good certified panel that's in the industry that has, set criteria and says, okay, we're going to judge all these different games or a certain number of games that have sent in and said they want to be considered for it, number one. And then we're going to judge all these and then pick the nominees, right? And then maybe open it up for like the fans or whatever to vote for.
Yeah.
Because it's just like the NBA All-Star game. You'll have somebody that's like injured for the whole year and he's a all-star, and then everybody's like, dude, he's played like 2 games in a year and you made him an all-star. That's all it's gonna be. It'll end up being a popularity contest.
I think it's a little bit of I think it's a little bit of that, and also a little bit of that they need to take some of these things, like some of these options seriously, like like I said, game of the year, like best fighting game and all that stuff. They have a category, I just saw it right now in the video, called most anticipated game. Like, you can't win. Like, should you win an award because because the hype is real on your game? I mean, that's what I'm saying.
I had a better marketing team than they did, so we win.
I was like, what is that? Like, you can't just be like, oh, congratulations, your Final Fantasy 16 has won the most anticipated game award. Here's your award for a game that isn't proven. It's not proven at all. Like, it's like, how are you going to give them something that's going to show them that? Is it that's right. That's a little
American
weird.
Truck Simulator should be on that list, daggone.
Yeah, American Truck Simulator should definitely be on that list. I'm just saying that, like, you got to put these categories into something more in tune with, like, something that's more serious and stuff. But like, that's just freaking ridiculous on it, like with it.
And there's a category of like best content creators. The only person that I've ever heard the name of was Cinderella. I don't know who any of those other people are.
But that's on us, though.
To say that, right, that I'm, not paying attention, but I'm just kind of like,
really? I don't usually, to be honest with you, my answer on like best content creator, I don't care. I really legitimately don't care about the content creator.
Really?
I mean, just as much
like, it's kind of like I was saying before. They need to have some kind of criteria for making the nominees first,
right?
So that there's a chance that something like American Truck Simulator, or or succubus, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am Jesus, the prologue, or whatever, so that
That was
there's
a
a
great one.
chance for
Mhm.
something that isn't like the most marketed game in the universe to actually be on the list and actually get recognized and be like, "Oh my gosh, hey,
Yeah.
this was a great game. Everybody that played it loved it, but there was a small sample size.
Yeah.
You should check this out because the Game Awards nominated it and
Mhm.
maybe it won, that kind of thing. That's kind of the way award shows should be.
They
But
need to
if
be
and like I
more.
was saying, the big ones, that's kind of the way they should work,
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
I mean, think about it. How many times have you watched like the Academy Awards and like a third of the movies that have been nominated, you're like, "What the heck is
I've
that
never
movie?"
even heard of it.
Right. You'd be like,
Yeah.
It
"I've
was at
never heard of
Sundance?
that."
Great.
Yeah, and it's like, okay,
It's
it's got
crazy.
a great performance from one actor that but nobody else in the movie you've ever heard of. But
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
like, okay, they sent in their pitch, their pitch was good, and they have a criteria, and they use that criteria to select that movie as a nominee. They need to do that for, the Game
Well,
Awards.
and
Well,
think
maybe it
about it
also shows
too.
a little bit of level of their They also probably need to show a level of transparency on how they're picking some of this stuff, because
Yeah.
that's where it comes down to, though, too. Because who knows how they're doing it? Because like some of these questions, like for instance, best fighting game, when you put Sifu on a list like that, and your description is nowhere near what Sifu is, it's like someone
Yeah.
dropped the ball on that. But what were you gonna say, Lex? You get the final word on that.
With SAG and the Academy Awards, when people are part of like SAG or the Academy, in that community that votes for the all of the awards, the nominees, they're sent the video. And so if you have like a small pool of 25 people who are, and the nominees are X amount, send out a few of the games for people to
Right.
consider. Like maybe they haven't heard of it, but give them the option to play this game,
Well,
to
I'm sure
get
they would.
a better opinion. And that to me gives you better pools of who the nominees would be in the first place, because these people have played the games, they've experienced it. Maybe if it wasn't their genre, they could have still enjoyed it, from an outside perspective. And I think that will make them a real, it's just,
Yeah,
to
Yeah,
because
me, I'm
it's
like,
yeah.
like
this is
Donkey Show
fake
said,
names.
Mhm.
the general masses are idiots, just like Donkey Show said. You can't just do a popularity contest for an award
Well, I
show.
mean,
Basically.
You
I
just
mean, yeah. Okay, yeah, it kind of it brings it all into it. But like I said, the only reason why to see the Game Awards is going to be seeing the Game Awards come December 8th or December 7th. The only time to really reason to go see it on Twitch is to see what is coming out soon, because they usually do world first, like premiere first. So definitely just keep that in mind. But if you're really keeping in tune on wanting them to see if they choose your game, well, just cross your fingers and see. Just pray. And vote. So we'll go. Lex,
Yes, it's
like,
my turn.
let's close this
Wahaha.
off.
So, if you guys didn't know, Supermassive Games, they have what they call their seasons, and I was a little confusioned about that. Um, so it started with Man of Medan in 2019, and then it was followed by Little Hope, House of Ashes, and then The Devil in Me, which released today, and it looks fantastic. It's a game that's on my wish list. If you don't know Supermassive Games, they've done The Quarry, but what I was curious about is how their seasons work. Because they have an upcoming game that looks fantastic. So it's basically like a creep show, or like the Twilight Zone, where each episode doesn't have to be a part of the next. But they have a new game coming out, and it looks fantastic. It's called Directive 8020. I have rewatched this teaser trailer 18 times to try to pause it so I can see better what they're flashing. It looks absolutely fantastic. Oh, it looks so good. And I've said it time and time again. I don't want to play anything in space anymore that's a horror
Hmm.
game unless you give me something new. And this seems like it might be giving me something new, and I'm kind of excited about it. So the game looks to be um your 80/20, and all you hear is the voiceover, and it's a sci-fi horror. Um you're heading into alien territory. Um and the directive, which is also used by NASA, basically it's a biological contamination control for outbound and inbound planetary spacecraft, which would be something that we would do if NASA did find alien life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and just listening to I implore you, if you like sci-fi, if you like horror and you like space exploration, this looks fantastic. Watch the trailer with sound. It got me, it gripped me, and I was like, is it the music? And then I listened to it with no music. I was like, no, this looks good. um there's not much else out there about it, but it's going to be part of their start of season 2. um how long that is, I don't know. They just finished season 1 and technically it started in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So w- how long of a wait do we have for this? Probably quite a while. I would give it at least 2 to 3 years. Um but it looks fantastic. Um I will definitely be playing The Devil in Me probably in the meantime, and go back and play some of their others because House of Ashes looks fantastic and they're all based off of um like H.H. Holmes. Like House of Ashes is based off of H.H. Holmes' Murder Castle, which they did a fantastic job. But I was curious what you guys thought of the trailer and if this would be something that you would play. Davis is going to say no, but maybe BJ.
You
I'd take
can't
a
talk
I'd
for
take a
me.
I'd take a chance on it just from the mere fact that I didn't play The Quarry, but when I saw people playing it, it made me a lot more interested in the genre.
It's so good.
So, yeah, so it's like, it, you got me with the whole space thing. I love space, I love sci-fi, and being a big aliens and predator person, I love like space horror. So, yeah, I definitely take a chance on it.
Oh, did you play Alien by chance?
Alien Isolation?
Yes.
No.
Really?
What?
No, I should have because like I said, I'm big on the Alien franchise. But
Mhm.
it was kind of one of those that I was like, oh, I bought it. And it kind of sat there and then I saw something else new shiny.
I feel it.
What?
I went back and played it and it was pretty good. But I've after playing that I told myself I'm not playing another space game that looks cookie cutter like everything else. And just the doors immediately
Hmm.
opening up and seeing, I was like, this doesn't look like everything else. And I'm kind of excited for it.
What about what's it called? Like I mean, like the Callisto Protocol that's coming out in December. That's going to be a space horror. That one's going to
That
be
let me put
very.
it to you guys. Let me put it to you this way. I I was really, really big into Dead Space, right?
Hmm.
And Callisto Protocol, whatever it's called, is giving me Dead Space vibes, right?
It's made by the creators of Dead Space.
Right. I found out when I was playing Dead Space, I'm a punk. The second I started seeing little creepy crawly small things that were running around on the floor all together looking like anything that looks like a whole bunch of spiders, I'm out. I'm done. No, I'm not stomping on a whole bunch. No, I'm done. I barely got through what was that game? Shadow of War.
Hmm.
Um, because they had shell of real big, massive spike. I was like, no, I'm not fighting her more than once. If I have to fight her more than once, I'm done with this game. I don't do spiders. So, I'm like, Callisto Project, it's got all the weird morphin 5 mouths, a whole bunch of teeth on your forehead thing going for it. And it's something about like it looks like one of those games that's going to use more gore than actual horror.
Hmm.
And I'm not certain if kind of to Lex's point, I'm not certain if just using gore for gore's sake is going to make for something that I'm interested
Oh,
in,
okay, fair enough.
I get that. I felt the way I felt similar to Callisto because I here's the thing. If you have to use your music to jump scare me in a game, you're not giving me the creep factor and you need to go back to the drawing board. And that's how I felt about that space. I know people are going to shoot me in the foot for saying that, but I didn't mind the spiders.
Dead
though.
Space reminded me of like the Thing, or
No
reminds me of the Thing of or Event Horizon. You just basically go by the rule of spiders, which is basically if you see a spider, then you already know that that it's theirs now.
Or
So
spider-like creature.
yeah, or spider-like creature. It's basically, you know what? Okay, this is your home now. Okay, I got to go.
It's like,
Yeah,
yep,
that kind of thing.
this is your space station. I'm out.
I'm out. Okay, good deal. But to your point about this game, like I've tried the Dark Anthologies. None of them really got my taste on this. So that's why I wouldn't do it. It's not because I just blatantly will just write it off, but rather I've tried openly. There were 3 of them already out prior to this one, right?
The Man of Medan.
Yeah. I've tried Man of Medan. Yeah, because like we did I remember vividly Man of Medan. Man of Medan was the game that we did at Extra Life for 1 year, with me, Smitty, and someone else. I believe it was Faye. That we all played together because it was multiplayer, and we just got tired of it. Like we were falling asleep from it, and
it was boring.
And then I tried the other 2 on my off time, and I was like, this is just not.
Did you?
Yeah.
Little Hope or House of Ashes?
I did not like them. So like, I was just like, I'm just, I think it's just not my, the Dark series is just not hitting me the way it needs to. Although I really want to play The Quarry, the very first one with Hayden Panettiere, I forgot the name. I always forget the name of that one. The very first one that started it all.
I haven't played it, and I want to.
Really good. Yeah, those are really good of them. But yeah, I mean, but what really surprises me more is that they're saying that this is a season release. Season 1 is like 3 years.
Dawn.
Yeah, Until Dawn. Thank you. Until Dawn. Yeah, it's 3 years was the first one to now. It took them to say season 1 is done. Now season 2. So we're gonna wait another 3 years until season 3 comes out. It's like I don't know. That's a weird way of releasing these things, but I think that it's just I mean, there's definitely a calling, because if they're doing a season 2, they're definitely getting their money. So good on them, and seeing where this is going to go.
Was just an estimation, just because of how short the trailer was, but also how long has it been in development? Because
but it's still a fact.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, and it's probably going to get delayed at some point, because everything does at this point.
Yeah, but we still have like 3 games. I mean, there's three games, 3 full games, mind you. This isn't like a to be continued kind of deal. From this, like this game, like Man of Medan came in 2019, and they made that such like a big deal and stuff that I thought it was going to be like a 5-parter or whatever, and I thought that was going to be it. But then when you said that they're doing a season 2, I was like, wow, okay, so the Dark Anthology is going to be like what, Tales from the Crypt, but just in video game forms kind of thing.
Basically,
like a different kind of episodes kind of thing. So so.
There's no
interesting.
correlation that I can see, unless it's going to be like a surprise. There was a correlation. You guys missed it. It doesn't seem that way. It's different characters. That would be cool.
Yeah.
They were ancestors. Okay. But I don't know. I do like. I like novels and things like that. So that's where I was like, that's kind of cool. And I don't know why these games didn't come onto my radar, because I play The Quarry. I love it. I think I'm in my 4th run through. But they do make solid games. Man of Medan it missed it for me. And I'm very much, I used to watch old war movies with my dad, and those types of things. And so I thought, oh, this meets a lot of my criteria outside of horror, and it's bringing it all together. That sounds really neat. And I don't remember what the big bad looked like. I can't tell you what it looked like. I think I slept through that game because I played it with a buddy online, streamed it. I don't remember. I remember being on a ship. I remember talking to another dude. That's about it. And and seeing a shadow. That's all I can remember. So, and water. That's it. So they missed the mark on Man of Medan for me. I know a lot of people enjoyed it. It was very slow. Like, come on, let's keep it pushing.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's cool that they I'm glad that they announced this the day of when they announced the game that they the Devil and I or whatever. So Devil and Me. Okay, so like so we'll see. Well, I guess the only thing we got to do is just wait and see how this is going to turn out because this is the last of the season 1, right? This isn't the Devil in Me is the end of season 1, correct?
Correct. And then
Okay.
this is going to be the beginning of season 2, or so we think.
Okay, so I just think that it's really weird. So yeah, I'm not gonna do it. I'm still on the fence though on wanting to pick up what's it called?
The Quarry.
No, not the Quarry. Callisto Protocol. I really want to play it, but like I might be on the same kind of thing with you there, PJ. I'm like I don't know if I'll finish it. Yeah, exactly. But it just looks so good. It just looks so good. Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah.
Creepy
But guys,
crawlies.
but anyways, folks. Thank you for listening to episode number 156 of the CFG Game Cast. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. We will be back. You know what? I just realized, next week is Thanksgiving. Is there any plans for Thanksgiving? Because I don't even know.
Yeah, this will be the first year I'm not hosting it. We have Thanksgiving dinner with Dust's family tomorrow. They always accommodate, which is fantastic. They're lovely people. And my uncle is hosting Thanksgiving this year, so this will be the first year. I'm obviously not cooking with my dad because he died. Womp womp. So yeah, no holiday cooking for me except a couple of pies and
wait, this weekend?
Stuffing. Yeah, tomorrow we have Thanksgiving with Dust's family.
Oh, okay. What y'all do
I guess
the week
people were in
of?
town. I know. That's what I thought. But the week of wouldn't have worked for me anyways. So.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Okay. I don't know if we'll be back next week. In other words, so like we don't know what we're gonna do because it's gonna be a food coma or not. Because I'm heading to Austin on Thanksgiving Day, and I don't know if I'm gonna come. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be back, but we'll see. But we'll definitely be back sometime though too, before our winter break in December. So, guys, but if you did miss out on this episode, that is perfectly all right. We do release it on all podcast services, like on Apple, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, all sorts of different platforms. So every Monday morning. So there is absolutely no reason to miss out on all sexy voices. Right on. Right on, guys. And guys, we'll be sure to go check out our main website on confreaksandgeeks.com. We just released our interview with the directors of the cosplay documentary Cosplay Universe. So definitely go check that out. It's a really cool feature of talking to some cool folks there. So go to confreaksandgeeks.com to check in on that. And as well, once again, this is Davis, BJ, and Lex signing off. Y'all, take it easy.